What's going on, real ones? Only family. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all doing well. I just want to give you a blast from the past. Right now, we are about to do one of the one of the top 90s movies for, I would say, black rom-coms. And
Yes,
you know what
yeah,
I'm
there
saying
you
when it
go.
comes down to it.
Yes.
So it's going
Uh-huh.
to be a real good treat tonight. To
Yes.
actually go over this movie. And the movie is right behind Joel. Once again, it is called The Best Man. The Best
Yes.
Man. All right. So, quick synopsis. Movie was released in 1999.
Uh-huh. Still a 90s movie.
Still a 90s movie, a year before 2000.
Mm-hmm.
It was also directed by Malcolm D. Lee.
Mm.
So right now this cast was stacked. I'm talking about
That,
stacked to the brim, like all the way to the top. Top that ceiling, tap that ceiling. You had Tay Diggs, you had Nia Long,
of
you
course.
had Morris Chestnut, that's my twin. And then from there, we had Terrence Howard and then also Regina Hall.
Regina
So
Hall. Yep.
just a
Yep.
great movie. This movie is like that proves one thing, friends know way too much about you when it comes
Oh
down
yeah.
Whose hand is it?
comes
Oh
down
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So what you got for me, Joel?
I mean, you know what I realized, Ken? Like
Mhm.
Nia Long has been in the last three movies we did, like Soul Food, Friday,
Yes.
and The Best Man.
And the best man.
I mean, she can't stay out of it, man.
No, not at all. One of the best, like I said, crushes through the 90s, man. Through the 90s. You know how they remember how they do those collages on Facebook when they be like the 90s beauties? And you
Yes.
see like Halle Berry,
Yes.
Nia Long,
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? So and she's popping up through the 90s
Is
for us
it
right
popping
now.
up? You know. But yeah, man, just quick recap of this thing, Ken. This
Mhm.
was an amazing movie. It was great.
Amazing
It was
movie.
great. I mean, it sparked like a sequel and a Peacock series, which was
Yes,
really
yes,
good,
yes,
right?
yes.
It was just really good. So a quick recap of this movie is, you have Harper, who is played by Tate Diggs. He writes a novel, sort of
Hmm.
exposing his friend group during his college life and some secret things about some secrets that he had about his friends that he did that some of them didn't know, and he put them in the book with different names, different occupations. We're gonna get to that.
Hmm.
And it's about his best friend, Lance,
Right.
who is getting married to Mia, and of
Hmm.
course Tay Diggs is his best man.
Hmm.
And this book is sort of I've used this term before, sort of the force of nature in a way, right? It is what sparks and
Hmm.
creates the plot from this book. And from this, everybody's reading this book, and the secrets are creeping out, creeping. And and what joke did you say about Harper in the
I,
book?
s- I was like, Harper just didn't write a book. He writes the first group chat, that
Yes,
ever existed, if you really think about it. Like this book
yes,
was a group chat for everybody.
yes,
So it's, oh my gosh. Like I said, just going back to what you said, this when we first watched this movie, like in 1999, it was like, wow, this is a really good movie. You know what I'm saying? Soundtrack was off the chain at that
yes.
time. It just was a lot. Like you're looking for a lot of stuff. This movie had it. So let's go ahead and break down the characters.
Yes,
Um,
and Ken, let me add this in. And I
yeah.
think for y'all understand the depth of the plot was
Hmm.
that and I didn't mention this in the recap, is that here's the kicker of the movie is that Harper slept with Mia in
Hmm.
college, and so Harper slept with his best friend's girlfriend. Did I say that right?
Yes.
And they're about to get married. Lance and Mia about to get married, and Lance does not know that Harper slept with her
Right.
back in
Correct.
college.
Correct.
But it
Correct.
got exposed because of the book. And we're gonna get into that. But go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry. It's on you,
No,
brother.
you good. You good. You good. So let's talk about the cast. So right now we
Yes.
got Tay Diggs, who plays Harper. So who is he? Harper is the person, the author of the book, Unfinished Business. So we
Yes.
find out that he writes the book, and you know, to me, I feel like it's a writer's. He was questionable for taking his actual past and putting in the book. Like your friends are not going to get the book. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Or they're
Like
not
your
gonna
friends,
figure it out or
or
something.
they're not going to figure it out. I mean, and then
Yes.
another thing is too, he didn't think about using different name. I mean, although he did use different names, yes, but occupations are almost still the same. Lance is, instead of being a football player, he's a basketball player. Jordan, he still described her as basically being career driven. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Things
And who
like
was it?
that.
Kendall?
Yeah, Kendall in the
Kendall
book.
was it? Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about it, what he eventually did right. You know, throughout the movie,
Mhm.
he he seems like he it seems like he doesn't believe in God. That's the first thing. Let
Yeah.
me let me let me backtrack. So not let's say what he did right, but let's talk about what he who he is. So like I said, he's successful. He's a author of the book Unfinished Business. He is the character that doesn't really believe in God, or doesn't
Yeah.
believe in God at all.
Mhm.
He feels like, that's somebody you pray to or whatever. He's not
He's an
into that.
atheist.
He's
Right.
the atheist basically.
Hmm.
So when it comes down to that character, it just feels to me that, not saying they picked the right person, which they did, but you take a look and see that, people weren't really, at that time, from his standpoint, like not depending on the Lord Savior Jesus Christ at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So he
Yep.
was
I know
like,
what you
nah, this
mean.
is not me. And you can see throughout the movie, he still kind of pushes it away when Lance tries to tell him, like, hey,
Yeah.
you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
So what I'll say, what he eventually does right is, although he had to get his behind cut, you know what I'm saying? He eventually takes responsibility and
Yes.
accountability as well. You can see that Robin, which is his girlfriend at the time, he
Hmm.
needed Robin to basically push him into the right direction, basically
And
saying,
Robin was
"Hey,
played by the Who?
uh, Sanaya Lathan."
Oh yeah. Celebrity crush, right? Everybody celebrity crush after Neil Long or something. Go ahead.
Right, right. So, Harper needed her to basically like get everything that he wanted, basically to save the marriage when it comes down to it. And she was there for him. And then
Right.
he, like I said, he owns up to the lie, but like I said, he got caught. What I would say what he did wrong was basically creating a novel about your friends. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like I said, once again, you already know the book is going to come out, and they're gonna have to read it. The second
Hmm.
thing he did wrong was that he actually, um, what did they say he did with the book? He wrote the book in their honor or something like that. I can't remember. So
Yes, he wrote the book. What made it really bad is that, in the book he mentions how he slept with Mia, but different names, right?
right,
But he wrote the book in honor of their marriage,
in honor
which
of their
was
marriage,
which was extremely arrogant.
extremely wrong and
Wow.
extremely arrogant.
Wrong. It
So
was wrong. Yes.
and then instead of basically, I mean, he did have a moment when he was in the bathroom with Lance, and Lance was talking to him about the situation, and he was like, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something." And then Uncle such and such came
Yep.
to the
Walk in.
bathroom. So yeah, so he had an opportunity to tell, but he didn't. So he
And
lied,
he kept
repeated,
hiding the book from him.
and he kept hiding the book from him, which kind of made him more suspicious at the same time too.
Yes.
So another thing he did wrong is he didn't warn Lance. Like,
He
you know what I'm
didn't
saying?
want
If you're gonna warn him, let him know, like, hey, this is going on. Like you said, he had an opportunity, but he didn't, and he kept lying repeatedly. And then the thing about it is that when your friends know about the situation, and then at the same time you're being arrogant, like your friends get a toll on you. You know
hmm
what I'm saying? Especially when it came down to Terrence Howard, that time they were inside of
hmm
the
hmm
fit getting fitted for the tuxes.
Yes.
All of a
Yes.
sudden he was trying to play him like your daddy trying to, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Trying to make it seem like,
Yes.
he's not trying to do his job. And he was like, your dirt ain't just come
Yeah.
out yet.
You're contradicting yourself,
You know
basically.
what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
So that's why,
Yes.
to just describe Harper, he was really a I'll say he was a friend, but he was also a contradicting friend at the same time too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's he it's one of those things when it comes down to Harper.
Right. And so we also get into Lance,
Hmm.
right? Who is Morris Chestnut,
My
who
twin.
Ken is delusional right now, who thinks that's his twin. Okay. Um, uh, so Lance is Morris Chestnut, which was the male Nia Long at the time for the ladies.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Morris
yeah,
Chestnut, whatever,
yeah.
But he was and he was a star in college, and
Hmm.
he went to the NFL, so he was
Hmm.
extremely successful. He was loyal, and he was driven, and he had a deep love of God,
Yes,
of
yes.
Christ. He claimed to be a Christian. So
Hmm.
even in the movie when they first uh, showed him coming with the press conference, they honed in on the cross to let him know that this is part of his life, right?
Hmm.
So he was a Christian. Um, but some of the things I think he did wrong was, though, him being a Christian, it was a contradiction from
Hmm.
what he believes and how he acts, right? So
Right.
in his actions, he slept around, right? He was a
Hmm.
star athlete in college, and he slept around. I mean, it was
So you mean tell me with all the sticking and moving that you've done, you don't think that Mia's ever tippy-toed out the door on you once?
around. I mean, it was a scene where he's talking to Harper, and he's like, "Yeah, man, those girls I took back to the dorm, yeah, dude." So it was, but he didn't repent of that. So he was a womanizer,
Right.
okay, and I think he knew that one day, because he also we'll learn later, as we get into it, that he cheated on Mia, right? And
Hmm.
he knew in his heart of hearts what he did was wrong, and that Mia would get him back,
Right.
right? So he knew that because he knew who he was, and he was volatile, right?
Yes. Very
Say the wrong
volatile.
things, and he will flip over a house, right? Right? So and you have to understand that his outbursts, it's not from him being a violent guy. It's him reconciling the fact that my best friend slept with Mia, and guess what, Ken? And he had to reconcile that part of that was his fault.
A long, long, long time ago, Mia slept with your best man.
Right.
Right? We're gonna talk more about that, but that
Hmm.
was something he did. He was his reaction was to be violent, right? To
Hmm.
Harper. And we understand that, but it wasn't the answer,
Not
right?
the right answer. Not for
Um,
that time.
not at that time. Right?
Because another
And
thing too is he did
yeah,
say when it was in the bathroom, he was like, I would have to forgive him.
he did say that.
He did
If
say
Mia
that.
did this, I would have to forgive him. And he was pushed to the test, right? He showed out, and and one thing he did right, another thing he did right is he did forgive him.
Hmm.
It wasn't really reconciled because in part two, like you said, he was kind of still
He
upset about it.
so upset about
He
it.
was still cautious, right?
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
truly
yeah.
hadn't reconciled it, really.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, that's Lance. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. Ken, who you got?
All right, so now we're dealing with our childhood crush, Mia. Well, I'm not, well, she was one of the childhood crushes too.
It
Mia,
was
yeah, man, because Mia played in Players Club
and Sister Rat.
and Sister Act. You know what I'm saying? So she was in there. So Mia was like the emotional one.
Yeah,
Uh, when we first met Mia, she was like that girl that you really wanted to be with. It's like she had her stuff
yes.
together
She was
and
the good
everything like
girl.
that. The good girl,
Yes,
the good girl.
yes,
You know,
yes.
she had the moral compass.
Right.
But did she really have a moral compass? You know, She really have a moral compass. So let's say about the thing. Let's say about the things that she did right. So one thing I would say is that um she did eventually, you know, because Lance found out, and I know in part two they probably had a conversation like, okay, this would happen, blah 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 blah. So
Hmm.
eventually she ended up telling Lance what happened, which was a good thing. She was also able to encourage Lance for forgiveness because
Hmm.
when he was saying his vows, he really meant those vows
He
to her,
did.
and she did the same thing too. But in the back of my mind, when she was reading her vows, I was like, if he knew,
Hmm.
well, I'm sorry, if she knew that he knew, would she be saying those vows like the same exact way,
I
or
think
maybe differently?
I I I think so. I
Hmm.
mean, eventually it comes out
Yeah.
in part two.
Hmm.
We'll get there,
All right.
but I think she
And,
would have probably said the same things. She
right.
probably,
And
because she
then
knew what she did, so it would have probably been the same. Probably.
and like she told Nia Long, she said, "Good girls don't tell."
Yep, he did say that
She did say that.
to Jordan O'Neill Long. Yes,
Yeah.
good girls and tell. But guess what? You know what, Ken? Remember that
Okay.
because because you know what? I'll come back to that. I'm gonna
Okay,
save
bet.
that. I'm gonna save
Okay,
that.
okay, bet. And then one of the things she did wrong is she basically hid it from Lance. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So by hiding that from Lance, and then Lance ends up finding out in the book, it makes her almost look like a villain in a way because she could have told Lance, and maybe if she did tell Lance, things would have probably been different. I know things would
Hmm.
have been different. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Probably.
So
Probably.
it's
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
fact. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, she's the calm one. She's the reasonable one.
Hmm.
But like you said, it shows that she had a moral compass, but did she really have a moral compass?
And we'll get there. Man, I can't
Hmm.
wait. All right. So your girl Jordan Nia Long, right?
Hmm.
She was the career girl. She was
Yes.
the Terry of the group. She was
Mm.
independent, strong. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, uh, she. What we find out is that she doesn't really need a man. She don't need anybody. She's independent, and yes, she is emotionally guarded, right?
Right.
Um, but I think one thing she did right was she did call out Harper. Like, no, you, if Lance finds out, you better run. But you need to fess up and admit because he got mad after he got beat up. He got mad at Jordan.
Yes. She
And
got
Jordan
mad at
was like,
Jordan.
wait a minute, you aired it after he slapped him. That was hard. You put our dirty laundry out there. You did that.
Yes.
You have to own up to that.
Right.
Woo! You know, you got some nerve blaming me for your skeletons, mister.
Jordan?
No, I'm not done, Harper. You wrote the book. You aired your dirty laundry. No matter how hard you tried to disguise it, it was you.
Right.
Yes, right. What she do wrong? Well, I think one thing was she did confront Mia,
Hmm.
but did she confront Mia to be in her business or to confront her and tell her, hey, you need to tell, you did wrong. You know what? I don't think she was in her business. I think she said you need to tell, and just like you said, good girls don't tell. That's what Mia said, right?
Right.
It was like
Right.
he was trying to convince her to, hey, look, you need to share it, right?
I
Um,
thought, I ain't saying like we probably gonna get on this too, but I really thought the reason why she asked because she wanted to find out how good Harper was in bed. At the same
oh,
time to me too. But you know what? Because hey, she was trying to find out too in a way because she was like, okay, you gonna tell girl? And when she said good girls don't tell, it was like, okay, now I am intrigued because what did I really miss out in college?
yes.
You see what I'm saying?
And I think that's part of what she did wrong, right? She wanted to rekindle what she missed in college, but he was dating somebody.
Taking
I,
somebody.
Again, they weren't married. They
Hmm.
can do whatever, but it's wrong because it contradicts you. Why?
Hmm.
Because why would you care about what Mia and Harper did in college? They weren't
Right.
married. But now you're like, and you got mad at him for doing it, but for you to do that to Jordan, and knowing that he didn't, excuse me, for you to do that to Robin, knowing that he's dating somebody else, you doing the same, you doing the same thing.
Right, 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 right.
Right. So I think, her wanting to find out how he was in bed, I think that was wrong too.
Hmm.
Um, Jordan invented I'm fine when she was absolutely not fine. That was so true. She did invent that. That is so true.
All
Oh
right.
gosh.
Oh gosh. Now
All
we
right, your
got
boy, your
Quentin.
crazy boy Quentin, man.
Quentin Terrence Howard. All right. So
Lord.
this Quentin was that person that wanted to dabble in everything. He wanted to
Yes.
be a music producer. He wanted to be a poet. He wanted to be a writer. He wanted to basically be everything under the sun except for being responsible. And
Yes.
I felt like he was an instigator. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
He was a wild card. And basically meaning a wild card is that, hey, he ain't really care. He was like, it ain't me. So if it slip up, it slips up. You know what I'm saying? One thing he did do was keep everything brutally honest.
You did.
And the reason why we can say that is because when him and Harper had that spat while they were getting their tuxes
Mm-hmm.
fitted, he told him, he was like, man, don't try to play me because of what I want to do. He said, you just ain't get caught yet. Your dirt ain't been put out there, but it will be
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
You're my judge, right? That's your job. You judge me.
No, I'm playing.
No, nigga. It's just amazing how you've always analyzed everybody else's shit, and then you don't do the same thing for your own self.
Yes.
You know? And I think he already, like I said, a lot of people read the book. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people didn't know what was going on, but I really think that Quentin was one of the first ones to actually realize and was like, he doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even there was a part when they was walking down the street and
Yes.
they was like, you know how you do that forehead kiss thing, right? He's like, well, shoot, I ain't never done a forehead kiss, but I like my boy Hopper over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It
You
was
ain't
stuff he was
slick.
doing. Yeah, he was
That's
being
right.
slick.
Yeah, you ain't slick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nigga, you ain't slick.
Oh, another secret, huh?
But I feel, because honeys love that sensitive.
Oh, Mia too, huh? It didn't work for me. I guess I ain't as authentic as old Harp here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was being he was instigating,
Yes, because he
but
wasn't slick. He knew it.
we knew what he was doing. So I think that's another thing that kind of threw him as being brutally honest. Now, where did Quentin go wrong? Quentin wrong. I feel like Quentin went wrong with everything.
Yes. He just
Everything
didn't
he
care.
did
He
was
didn't
wrong.
care.
He was
Wow.
disrespectful. He was
Yes.
reckless. He was chaotic.
Yes.
It was like he was that person that wanted the stuff to spark off. It's
Yes.
like almost throw the stone, hide your hand. You see
Yes.
what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's who Quentin to me was, when it
Reckless.
came down to
Yes.
it. And it said every friend in a group has a Quentin. If you didn't, it might be you, because Quentin was off the chain when it came down to that that character. He was definitely a hot boy. That's what I would
And,
say.
and let me back up by saying this about Mia. This is a take for Mia. Mia is calm, but also the reason the entire plot exists. Your booty literally got us in trouble. And here we go. Here we go. And for Lance didn't read the book. He read one chapter and chose violence. I mean, everybody. Here we go. We forgot about Harper. Harper really said fiction and then described real events with timestamps. That was good. Ah, man, that was good. Yes.
All right.
Boy, but your boy Quentin was off the chain, man. He was,
Oh,
Ken.
he was definitely off the chain. All right, so who you got, Joe? You got
So,
next.
you got your girl Candace, right? And Candace comes in a little later because Candace is revealed at the bachelor party.
Yeah.
You know,
Candace.
it's like
Oh my gosh.
Candace or like Candace or whatever, right? So Candace is the young, she doesn't like what she does, but she's just trying to get through life,
Hmm.
right? And she's just honest with Merch, hey, look, this is just a show, but that Murch was really interested in her and
Mm-hmm.
began to love her. And what I love about Candace is that she grew into who she was apart from her being a stripper,
Right.
right? But her past caught up with her a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not who she is anymore, right? That's not who she is. She had a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
That's who she is. So I think that, and I don't know if she necessarily did anything wrong,
Right.
and not in the best man. I don't think she did, but
No.
I think you find out that her life is so filled with an enigma that it hurts the benefit, because you remember in part two, we're not talking about part two, but we're just kind of talking about this character. Remember in part
Right,
two
right,
when
right,
they
right, right, right,
had to
right.
raise support for their foundation and they found something online with Candace, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like she was trying to run away from her past, and it just kept catching up with her and hurting
Right.
her. But
But
she really didn't, huh?
I'll say this. I mean to cut you off, but
No, go ahead. I want to hear it.
she still reminds me of a limb
She
because
was a limb.
it was a
Yes.
limb and from Soul Food, because she just reminded me of that because how the way she came into a situation and then now having to deal with the situation because you're now involved with merch.
Yes. Yes. And she was more vocal in part two. She was
Mhm.
fully in the family, fully with the friends, fully doing this fully in, right? But she was sort of also a voice of reason to people at
Mm-hmm.
times. But she didn't really say much in part one because she was just introduced.
Just introduced. All right. Now we got merch.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Merch. I'm surprised they don't have his name for me, but Merch played in Oz.
God, what was his name?
Merch played in Oz, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what was Merch's name? Hold on, let me see
I'm
what
gonna
Merch.
keep on talking about him. I'm gonna pull it
All
up.
right. So basically, Merch was once I get his full name, we're gonna be able to get that done. So Merch was the safe guy. Merch was, you can tell Merch led with his heart when it came out to certain situations.
His name first. Well, his name was Harold Pernille. I'm pronouncing it
Pernille,
wrong.
Harold Pernille.
Per, Perennial. Per Pernille. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Okay, so we got Harold. We just call him Harold,
I'm
Dirty
pronouncing
Harold.
it wrong. Harold was his first name. Yes.
All right, so basically, he was a soft and the safe guy.
Uh-huh.
He you can tell he was one of those guys that was basically in the community,
Yes.
and he
Yes.
wanted to save the kids in the community, which was good. And you know the thing that would made him right, he was stable. He was stability. He was very stability. Um, when it came down to that character. Now the thing about his character didn't have a backbone in the beginning.
Yeah, it
His
didn't.
character was getting run over by his girlfriend at the time, which was
Oh.
Shelby, which we're going to talk about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that Merch, the minute she threw on those tears and that fake acting, it was like, I got you, puppy dog. Now come on with me as I drag you around.
Mm-hmm.
But Merch was that purpose. He was that person that they could rely on. But one thing I'll say is that he was very he lacked confidence, didn't have a real backbone, and he is like he needed somebody to prop him up to basically be able to get something across. And he was able to find that backbone in the later part of the movie, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. And then also one thing they didn't like about Merch couldn't hold water. So when it came down to secrets, they didn't tell him. And they were
They
like
could,
one
yes,
part in
never
the
told
movie,
Merch nothing.
nobody really told March nothing, because one part in the movie he was like, "Do you remember? Did he ever tell you about how him and Jordan kissed up and such and such?" And they was like, "Yeah, we already know about that." And it was like he looking around like, "Y'all dirty. Y'all couldn't tell me." It was like, "We already know you couldn't hold no water, so
Yes.
why even tell you?" You know, so that so Merch was very dependable, but when it came down to having a backbone, he did not. He lacked confidence,
Yeah.
and he was basically run over by Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby, she was a character that was part of the group. She wasn't really
Mhm.
part of the college group, right, who grew up together.
Right.
Lance, Terrence Howard, the Harper,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, even Mia, that group grew up, So so Candace and Shelby were outsiders, and Robin were the outsiders in a way. So Shelby
Right.
was just, I don't know if she was part of their college group. I don't think she was.
Probably
Um,
so. 'Cause the way she
but
was talking, like she may have, but I don't know.
but she was drama, just manipulative, self-serving, just
Mm-hmm.
drama, and she knew how to get merch, right? And you said something about merch, like he didn't have a backbone, meaning he wasn't the one who's going to confront Harper about what he did wrong. He just kind of
Mm.
wanted everybody to be cool,
Right.
But it doesn't work that way, right? But he grew up later, and Shelby was just a extent of his lack of a backbone,
Right.
right? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Shelby appreciated what he did. Like you said, Ken, he was in the community, and you want to be with those hoodlums. Don't call my kids, those gang, don't, and Candace appreciated merch,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he broke up with her or whatever, and they ended up with Terrence Howard. But Shelby, so one for Shelby. Shelby didn't attend the wedding; she attended the chaos. That was good. So those are the folk, man. I don't think we missed anybody except
No,
for
man,
Robin.
except for Robin.
Robin was Tay Diggs' girlfriend. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
they weren't engaged; they were living together.
They were living together, yes.
And Jordan wanted more, right? She was a
Mm-hmm.
caterer, I believe.
She was another person that almost like Tay Diggs' character in a way. She was a caterer. She was a poet. She was something else. It's like she couldn't find herself, and finally she ended up finding herself being a caterer.
Yeah.
So
And so, and she
yeah.
loved him, and wanted to
Hmm.
move further in a relationship, but Harper didn't want more. I think he was just glad where he was.
And
Um,
another thing too, he didn't want nobody to control what he had going on.
yes.
They said in there they were like,
Yes.
if somebody comes out of your bubble or basically doesn't comply to one of your boundaries or steps over their boundaries, then they're already gone. So they were like, shoot, they're surprised that you kept this one,
Yes. Oh,
for two
yes.
years,
That's true. And
So
Robin was very patient
very
and
patient.
very kind and knew Harper was a fool, but still, what I love about Robin is this, Ken.
Hmm.
She did not put everything on everybody. Harper's a fool. He's dumb. Hey, Mia, don't worry, your wedding's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good,
Hmm.
right? She didn't rope them all in. She
Right.
knew how to separate. Hey, Lance, y'all getting married. This ain't got nothing to do with Harper. He's a fool, right? So she was a peacemaker. She was calm, and yeah.
Yeah, man, it's
So
crazy.
yeah. So
All
anyway.
right, so let's talk about this now. We're gonna talk about the dynamics of the movie. And I think the one thing we want to discuss about the movie, the toxic loyalty versus the real accountability. Um, I would say this: the toxic loyalty was everybody had the book,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then once everybody had the book, the loyalty to Harper was was basically more for Harper than the loyalty for Lance. And the reason why they did, I would say that's because for one, they didn't want the situation between Lance and Harper to go bad, go sour. So they were like, we're going to keep it regardless of what nobody says. We're going to make sure that everybody is going to be staying loyal to this side of the building because we want to make sure that everybody is on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the real accountability should have been, okay, Harper, let's have a sit down. Why would you write this book knowing that you have everybody in this book per se, what they did, who they did it with, this, that, and the other, and what they had going on in the book?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the toxic loyalty outweighed the real accountability because nobody was really being like accountable about their actions when it came down to this book. The book came out, everybody read it, and nobody even said anything anything about the book to Lance or anything like that. But there should have been some accountability to basically having making Harper accountable of what he did when he came down to that book. What you got for me when it comes down to the old college dynamics versus the adult life?
I mean, we got to know that old lives can affect new lives. Old
Mm-hmm.
time affects new time,
Mm-hmm.
cause and effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were in high school and you blow your finger off, but you were messing with fireworks, when you're older, that finger's still gone, right? I mean, it's going to affect things, right? So yes, their college life was a college life, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that during between college life and we don't know how it would have probably been years, right?
Right.
Him being in NFL, Lance being in NFL, all different things. That there most of the time college requires no real accountability unless it affects somebody then today,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if in college I did something to you, Ken, as my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
I it really was bad. It is my responsibility to share with you in my college years, not later. Okay. Here's the dynamic that was bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say anything all your college year and some of your adult life, but you put it in a book. See, you can't. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hey, man, I tried to tell you. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not try to tell me.
Right.
So the dynamic is affected when people, I think it goes back to what your first thing was. You you were not being accountable. If
Mm-hmm.
you hurt somebody, tell them now. And if you don't tell them now, tell them later, but don't tell them later in a book where it's public. How did I make Lance look like a fool?
Ooh. It does make him look like a fool. But it does make him look like a fool. But he did his dirt too.
We'll get there.
And we're gonna
We'll
get to
get
that. We're
there.
gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
I'm not done with Lance.
All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and get into that. All right, let's go ahead and get down to our questions. And when we get down to these questions, our real one fans, I want y'all, I mean real, our real one only fans, I want y'all to comment because we want to get this feedback. Because we want
Yes.
to comment with y'all and talk with y'all about this. So the first question is,
Okay.
who was the most responsible one? Choices are Mia or Jordan. I'm gonna go with Jordan, and there's a
Okay.
reason. This is the reason why I say it. The reason why I say she was the most responsible one is because although she was able to put the clues and the context clues together, she even talked to Harper about it. Harper, this is what's going on. You need to let somebody know because you actually writing a book about your secrets, all of our secrets, and then on top of that, making the book out to them as a wedding gift is not cool. The second thing she even did was, although she went to Mia, she said, Mia, what's going on, girl? You gonna say nothing?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, good girls don't tell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I understand that. And at the same time, I don't understand it because you're about to get married. You're about to get married. And for you to just to say something like that, that threw me off. Then, yeah, that threw me off. So when it comes down to the debate wise, I would say the most who was either responsible versus the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I would take, let me break it down like this.
Okay.
So the responsibility part was supposed to be Mia's because
Right.
she needs to take some type of responsibility for what's going on in that situation.
Okay.
She had that time with Harper. She should have explained to Lance, hey, I did this with Harper. And it was not she said it was a mistake, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you were out there doing everything on me. Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
just as an example, we don't know if that boy was using a condom. We don't know what he was doing during those times. He could have brought something back to her.
Could have.
Could have, you know? So, I mean, it's still her responsibility to basically let him know. Jordan was the one that came up with the honesty because she was like, hey, this is what's going to happen if you don't say something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would rather them taking Jordan as being the responsible one. And I love the fact her honesty came through to trying to basically set the honesty factor for both of them. But I noticed that both of them did not accept the honesty factor. Because when they were in the store, Harper didn't take the honesty factor. He was like, girl, you losing it. You need to go take something. And then she
He's
comes
never
with
gonna
this
find
thing.
out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got on that one?
All right. So I think the most responsible between Mia and Jordan was Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree that she was the one that said, "Hey, Mia, you need to tell."
Right.
Though she probably had a double agenda, you need to tell, right? And hey, Harper, what you did was wrong. You need to let them know it was your thinking was wrong. Okay, so I agree with that with Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the most responsible? I
Yes.
don't think none of them were responsible or honest. I don't think none of them were. I don't between me and Jordan, they weren't
Mm-hmm.
responsible or honest. Mia was not responsible because she didn't
Mm.
tell Lance,
She didn't tell Lance.
right? Though she did it out of anger. And in your anger and frustration, it was irresponsible to sleep with your best friend, with your best man.
Right.
Your Lance and them being boys, right?
Right.
Now, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. Now, honesty, no, they weren't honest. Like Jordan wasn't really honest. Yeah, I mean, you're sleeping with Harper, and knowing he's
Wanting to
dating
sleep.
Robin, huh?
Yeah. Wanting to sleep
You
with Harper,
wanted to
but
sleep
never.
with her,
Right.
right?
Wanting to sleep. Mm-hmm.
She wasn't honest, she wasn't responsible, neither was Nia. She wasn't honest. Good girls don't tell. You're not telling Lance the truth. Now we find out in part two that she did tell him. We
Mm-hmm.
that they she does know she does know that he knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want to talk about that just later, but she wasn't responsible. So
Gotcha.
both of them did not hold any of that.
Right. All right. So let's talk about this one now.
Okay.
Who is the most to blame for everything falling apart? Har- Harper because he wrote the book,
Okay.
Mia because she kept the secret, or Lance because the way he reacted.
Okay. You want me to answer? You want
Yeah, you go ahead and answer. You go ahead and
So
answer.
look, they all are to blame in part of this.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to mention that a little bit later, right? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah.
Because it's asking the most to
Okay.
blame.
Well, the most to blame, the reason, okay, let me back up.
Mm-hmm.
Mia and Lance, they both did their dirt, and they're wrong,
Right.
just as wrong as Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Mia slept with Harper,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna say it right now. In part two, Lance couldn't forgive Mia. And you know what Mia said? You really need to be angry at me. It was my idea. I did it to make you angry.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to hear it.
Tell me how angry you are at me. I deserve it.
No.
I knew what I was doing. I knew I was wrong. And I knew it would hurt you.
And see, he's really mad at Mia. He really has to forgive Mia. Right? So Mia knew she was doing wrong. She did it on purpose to get him back.
Right.
Right?
Revenge.
She was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Lance was part of it too. Remember, you created the monster by sleeping with all the other chicks.
Correct.
You created a monster. You
Mm-hmm.
created a woman, and just like Harper said in his book, she wanted revenge.
The sweetest payback for his random indiscretions would be a personal one of her own.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew she knew how to get it. And Harper was like, let's do it. Right? She knew how to get back. Now, Now, again, they all played a hand in it.
Yeah, they play hand in it.
Now, who was the most to blame? I
Hmm.
say Harper. Only one reason why.
Okay.
Because his butt put it in the book.
They
He
put it in the
was
book.
so arrogant that he actually put it in a book. Everybody else kept a secret like normal people,
Hmm.
right? Which is still not good because it still eats at you. But your
Hmm.
thought was like, I got secrets. I got everybody's secret. Let me write it in the book. Let me write how to sleep with my best friend's girlfriend. What? What? So the only reason why he is the most to blame, everybody, we're going to go through all of them. They
Hmm.
all were a walking contradiction, except for Candace and Robin,
Right.
right? And Shelby, she just in another world.
Right.
But but Harper was the worst. He was the biggest contradiction of them all
Hmm.
because his contradiction came with arrogance.
Right.
You literally put it in the book.
The book.
That's what made him the worst. If it
Mm.
wasn't, if it wasn't, then Lance would be the worst.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right,
All right.
that's what I want to say.
So I gotta put this one on Lance.
Okay, okay.
So the reason why I put this one on Lance is because Lance knew what his flesh was.
Mm-hmm.
So with Lance, you can see that he loved the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his downfall.
Mm-hmm.
You know you love the flesh so much that you got entwined with a good girl. You knew that you loved you like I said, your flesh was just eating at you every time. You talking about the trips that you took to Pittsburgh, you had them two girls,
Yep.
and you hear Harper in the background, man, you have four of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Meaning,
That's sad.
so
With
you
the hat
like
turned backwards.
yeah, so it's like you knew your flesh was weak. You already know this.
Mm-hmm.
For you to go to someone else not changing,
Yes.
and you know your flesh is weak, why
Yes.
even get yourself entwined with that girl?
Yes.
But Harper's the one who put you down. You
Yeah,
and
he
me
did.
hit it off.
He
And
did.
what you did it again.
Yep.
And you was like, she's not returning my phone calls. She's not da 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 da, right? If you would control your flesh, that would have never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So since that happened, now you are on, and then nothing is wrong with this. You are now focused on God, which you were in the beginning, but it wasn't a real focus. Your
Yes, it
flesh was
wasn't.
yeah, right. Your flesh was overtaking you. Then you find, and like I said, everybody finds God at a certain time in life. So
Mm-hmm.
the minute you find God, you have found God now. You are doing what you're supposed to do. But I felt like the person that was most responsible was Lance, because if he would have just kept his stuff in his pants and basically
Mm-hmm.
maintained with Mia, none of this would happen. She would have never went to the situation of let me go get revenge
Yes.
because my boyfriend is out here touching every can of paint. You see what I'm saying? So
Paint the town red.
paint the town red. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, it was Lance to me because of the situation. If he would have basically controlled his flesh, he would have been fine.
Okay. So look. We're gonna talk about here about how Lance was justified, right? Was he
Mhm.
justified in how he helped Harper? Look, let me say something about Lance. You mentioned Lance.
Mhm.
You got a point, Ken. Let me say why. When we saw the movie, and I mentioned this to you yesterday,
Mhm.
when we saw the movie, when everybody saw the movie, everybody didn't like Harper for one reason. He was an atheist. You don't believe in God? Oh, I already know he gonna be trouble. See, we already felt that. But when Lance was like, man, you gotta believe in God, man. Lance seemed to be moral and in a good position.
Yeah.
And we like Lance, right? But we didn't like
Mhm.
Harper. Oh, he don't believe in God, and he wrote that book, and some of that man girl. Ooh, he bad. That's how we saw Harper. We hated him. We hated Harper. He was a snooty, uppity dude who slept around.
Right.
hide stuff, right? We want to think Lance is justified. And you know why? Because he's covered with something. The idea that he seems to have a moral standard by saying he loves God.
I
His
love
brother was
God.
just as evil, sleeping around. That don't mean don't tell me you love God and have faith in God and you don't show me your works. Because your works would
Mm.
show. That's James too, baby, right? So my whole thing is that Lance was not justified in how he handled it. He was
Uh-huh.
not justified by reacting with physical violence. You, being a believer, got to stand up and say, dang, I created this monster.
Created monster.
Should he confront Harper? Yes.
Yes.
Should he beat him down? No. But Harper, but that's how it went down. So I don't think his emotional reaction was normal. My Mia, who was the good girl, got me, cut me, because she was the good girl. And she got one up on Lance. She knew how to get Lance back. I'm going to sleep with your boy.
Right.
I'm going to smash the homie, right? I'm going to sleep with your boy, right? And so she knew how to hurt him. And think about this. Mia was a small young girl. He was a big time athlete. He was big athlete and he was physically big. How can Mia really hurt him? Oh, I know I'm gonna hurt you. And so his reaction was he was hurt, and Mia got him. Mia got him in his own game. How to be a player, right? Mia got him in his own game. And so his action, it's just not justified. Look what you created, man.
That's what
You created that.
You created
Like you said, you got 4 of them. Like you created that, dude. And they're gonna turn around and say, "Well, I gotta pray." Well, yeah, you gotta repent too. You know. So no, I felt like it was. I felt like the emotional intensity would have been accepted because that was what it was supposed to create in him: pain and anger and frustration. But him beating up Harper, it wouldn't have solved anything, because he even said at the end when he in the pastor's office, he had him against the wall or something. He said, "I could beat you down now," and he says, and Harper says, and then
it wouldn't change anything.
It wouldn't
would
change
not change the
anything,
outcome.
I could have killed you last night. You know that, right? I still could right now.
You could, man, but it wouldn't change anything.
It would not change the outcome.
So that's my thought about that one.
Okay. Was he justified? Okay, let me see. Justified. Okay. The emotional part, I would say yes. Because everybody's human. Everybody's gonna have that upset emotion behind that. The beaten up part is still emotional as well, because it's still a physical, it's a physical emotion.
Guys react different. Yes.
Guys react different. So it's still it's still kind of justified. Now I won't say it's justified because it's still how can I say this? Okay. The emotional part, yes, I feel that was justified. The physical part, maybe. Then from there to, it's like he could have handled it a different way. Because hours ago you were saying, I got to deal with it. But then,
yes, I have to forgive.
Like,
yes,
you slept with Mia, you throw the book at him, you rushed him, and then you got to give him a 2-piece. Bow.
Yes.
Man, it's a book, man. It's a book. It's a book. But the book that you wrote, Unfinished Business, is what's causing you to get your butt whipped right now. So I understand the emotional, yes, because he was hurt. And then the emotional part kicks in, because now as you're reading the book, you're envisioning.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're envisioning
the
beat down. And I ain't talking about a fight. I'm talking about the beat down. So it's like, oh crap, like you can envision, because the way he's reading the book.
And the screen turns red. Yes. He was mad, boy. He saw red.
And then he balls up the book. So it's like I understand. So the emotional part, yes, that was yes, that was there.
Yes.
It was justified. The physical, maybe. So that's why I would go with that. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So yeah. Um, should Mia have told Lance earlier?
Yes. Yes. Should Mia
So
have told Lance? It depends on it didn't it depends on when they reconciled.
okay, so let me ask you this then. Let's say they had because I saw the movie
Mm-hmm.
and I think they had sex when Lance comes into the room to pray.
Yeah, he did sleep with her. He did say that. Yeah, I slept with her. But I also cheated on her. I don't want to lose her.
No, 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 no. But I'm saying when he came inside the room, remember he came. Oh, yes, this is the part I don't think you saw. So when they're inside the room,
Okay.
he was like he's beat. There's a part where he was. Okay, let me say this. So Lance comes to the room. He's
Right.
banging on the door.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, now he's banging on the door. He's like, "Hey man, Harp, she won't listen to none of my calls. She's not
Yes.
picking up her phone."
Yes.
When he walks in, he was like, "Well, maybe she's probably out with her friends." You see Harper's eyes rolling. So I have a feeling when Lance was calling, that's when the
Oh,
get
that's when he
down.
was doing.
If you go back and look at the movie and
Okay.
you see when he walks in, his facial expression is like, "Oh man." And I believe when he was trying to call her and all that stuff, and she wasn't picking up the phone, all
She
that
was with Harper.
happened when Harper was doing the beat down. And I thought about that today when I was watching, and I was like, yeah. Not
Okay.
to cut you off, but yeah,
No,
go
yeah,
back and
you're
look at that
right.
part. So you said, well, I said, should Mia have
No,
told Lance
yeah,
earlier?
we don't see when they reconciled. Like
Hmm.
we see that they're engaged, they're gonna get married, right? We
Right.
don't know what happened in between that time. But in between that time, she should have told him.
Okay. So let me ask you this: should she have told him 2 days after?
She should have told him, okay. See, here's the thing. We don't know what their relationship was like after Harper prayed with Lance. Like that's all you see is them praying, and
Hmm.
then that's it. So you don't know what their relationship looked like in between that. We don't know,
Right.
right? I think through college she just kept it a secret. But I think when Lance got serious and said, "I want to marry you," like we don't see the engagement
Hmm.
happen.
Right. Right. Right.
We're
Right.
like
Right.
2 or 3 days from the wedding. When he said, "I want to marry you," I think that's when Mia said, "I have something to tell you.
Got you.
And if you still want to be with me, you don't, I understand, but I got to tell you something." But she believed growing up, and I heard this before, good girls don't tell. She held
Hmm.
to that belief until later, which we don't know when in that timeline of their marriage, that Mia finally says to him, well, says, "Hey, I know what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I did do it,
Hmm.
right? And I did it out of revenge, right?" She realized something. So, I mean, I think she should have told him at the moment of engagement, right before Lance proposed.
Okay.
That would have been
Okay.
the
I get down
time
with that.
because now you're saying, "I just want to be with you."
Hmm.
So
Right.
if you got some stuff, we need to know something.
Got you. All right. I know this one's gonna be your favorite one right here. I already know. Is Harper actually a bad friend or just a selfish friend?
He's both.
Look,
He's both.
all right.
He's
Give
a
me what you got.
bad
Give me what you got.
friend and he's selfish. He is.
He's both. He's both. He's
He's
both.
both. Now, here we go. He's no better than Quentin.
Mm.
I mean, meaning he's not the only one that's bad or who's
Right.
dealing right. He was a bad friend.
Okay. Okay.
Here we go, Ken. You, look, it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If Mia wants to get revenge, he got it with you. Your best friend. They were boys. Look,
Mm-hmm.
nah, Mia, I'm not doing this with you. That's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you wanted to do it too. I don't know if it was revealed, but I don't think the movie says it. I'm speculating.
Right.
He wanted to do this.
But
He felt like
I think
I felt like I'm saying this because I felt like he's coming to the rescue of Mia. Hey, you
mm,
want to do this revenge? I'm gonna help you through this. Let's do this. I don't think he said
okay.
it, but it was like, why not? You see, Ken, you're my best friend, dude. Like, think about this, Ken, even in high school, we all had a code. If you had a girlfriend and you broke up, Ken, man, I kind of like her.
Yeah.
You still like her too? We had a code. Now we knew, right? It was a guy code. You don't ever, then and now, unless you actually have permission.
Okay. Right. Right.
Hey man, Ken, y'all still, I kind of, nah. Harper did wrong, man. He was a bad friend and he was selfish. How to be selfish? When he thought about his family, that book brought him money. That book brought him fame. It was what, one of the number one seller,
Number one
right?
sellers. He was about to get an
You thought
Oprah.
about yourself in part one and in part two. Part two, your behind needed money. You were too much pride to ask. You just thought about you. When it
Mm-hmm.
came to Robin, you thinking about yourself. He was
Mm-hmm.
selfish and a bad friend. You know why? Because you ain't slick.
You ain't slick.
He ain't slick. He was both, Ken. He was both.
All right. All right. All right.
But this is what I love about his group. They all
Mm-hmm.
still loved him.
They also loved him. They did. They did. They did. They did.
What about
All
you?
right. Oh gosh. I would say he's a bad friend, but if I'm weighing them out, I would say the bad friend weighs out the selfishness. The reason why I say that is because for him to be a bad friend, once again, let's go back to the book. He wrote about everyone's past in the
Mm-hmm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of not thinking about a creative way of doing it, you just change people's occupations, which was dumb. I was like I said, once again, I was thinking about that before. The bad friend situation is that you're going to the wedding, you know what's going on, you're hiding the book, you're mad at other people because the book is getting out. And instead of basically telling Lance, hey man, this would happen, bro, I know you're gonna beat me up, whatever. If you're gonna beat me up, you're gonna beat me up. We got to get over it. Right? But then at the same time, by him being that bad friend, he should have basically been like, okay, I know I did this wrong. Um, you get, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta forgive me. But the bad part, the bad friend also comes into play is that he never took any responsibility for it.
Yes. Yes.
He didn't take the responsibility for
Yes.
it. I believe if he would have took the responsibility for it and said, Mia, it was wrong for us to do this. Let's go. And to be honest with you, it would have been me and her because both of us did it together.
Did Harper ever actually apologize?
I don't want to lie to him, man. I think he did when they were inside of the.
He did. When they were inside the pastor's room, I think he
Yes, I think
apologized.
he did say it right then and
He
there
did.
that he was sorry, and then yeah, he was like, it's almost he tried to pull not Distinguished Gentleman, the movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. He was
Yes.
telling, yeah, that part. So
This
yeah,
is
that's
not the
why I feel
Bible.
like,
This is real life. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
yeah. So that part, I felt like he was a bad friend. So I felt like the bad
Mm.
friend weighed out more of the selfishness. It's just the fact that he put those things in that book, not expecting those things to get out, which was a bad friend situation because he was
Mhm.
a bad friend to all of them because everybody was complaining about the book. or people were liking the book, but they didn't like how they were being portrayed in the book.
Right. They weren't. Yes.
They were. So it was like, dang, like you gonna have me as the Ebony Thumper, man. You gotta make sure you make sure you distinct. I gotta distinguish myself away from this. Shelby, if you want to put me in the book, don't do it again.
Yes.
Quentin, man, you got me out here looking like some such and such and such.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So Terry, I mean not Terry, I'm not about to say color girl Terry, but Nia Long's character.
Nia Long, yeah. Jordan.
She was like, I don't know why you got me here like this. Like, I'm not no career driven and all this other stuff. Like, yes, you are. So everybody, although he was telling the truth about them, he was a bad friend because none of these people know about them, but they probably can put two and two together as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I was thinking. So all right, I'm gonna have to choose a different person for this one.
Okay.
So it says, which character would you not trust in real life? Would it be Quentin? They got Shelby. I'm not putting Shelby in there. I'm talking about Quentin, Harper, or Lance.
Who would I not trust?
Who would you not trust in real life? Quentin, Harper, or Lance? Oh, let me scratch Lance. Mia.
Who would I not trust?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I would trust Quentin is because he's honest.
Okay.
Okay. If you say, hey man, I need you to help me up with this, he will help you. Okay. If you're like I think in part 2, you know, he really needed help. He really needed money and he helped him. Though he made jokes about everything, he would really come and help. He's a fool, but he would help. So I would put him there. Who wouldn't I trust? You said Quentin, Mia, Lance.
Or Harper.
I couldn't trust Harper. I couldn't. The only reason why is because he feels like it's okay to put people in a book.
Put people in a book. Okay.
And put your most secrets out there, man.
Right. So
even though
you try to doctor it up.
I couldn't trust him with certain secrets.
Got you.
I could trust him with surface things,
but not secrets. Okay. All right, I can deal with that. I would have
not necessarily secrets, but not deep things about me.
Okay. I'll say this. If I had to choose, although Quentin was brutally honest, I couldn't trust him. Just because he might use that brutally honest situation
to try to turn it back on you. I forgot about that.
So it's like, just like how they were, like I say, outside walking, and he's making jokes about a real situation, and then Harper looking back at him like, "Come on, man, don't do that." You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I would not be able to trust him in real life because if I gave him a secret not to tell, he's going to use that secret against me and then basically try to play it along as well and make sure I make fun about it. So that's why I would say Quentin instead of Harper or Mia. So that, yeah, man. Oh gosh. All right. So, so we just covered the best man.
Yes.
We just covered the best man. So I really hope y'all enjoy this one. Like I said, once again, these questions that we have, oh gosh. So just like the questions we have right now, and once we, just make sure you respond back to them. So comment, subscribe, like, share, do all what you can do for this video. I know there's probably gonna be another one, just like Soul Food. We've gotten some numbers, and I know we just want to hear y'all comments. We want to respond. We want to have that rapport with y'all. We want to see what y'all can, bring to the table when it comes down to our questions. We want to see y'all answers as well. So once again, my name is Kenyatta Mitchell.
And my name is the co-host. And my name is Joel Brown. And look, I got one thing to say to you guys. If you're going to be a friend, be the best, man. Peace.
No.